All right, let's jump into this Rev 6 master rebuild kit for this 2011 Polaris Ranger 500. The only thing I have found with this box so far is this right here was busted open when it came in. If I can get this thing to, and what concerns me about that is the crank is right there. Now I'm gonna check, we'll check it out and see if there's any damage or anything. But let's go ahead and open the top of this up. We'll just grab a wrench. Now this is supposed to be their master rebuild kit. Let's get all the packing out of here. It's got some nice packing. You know, it's got packing in there all the way down and around. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? Let's grab, oh, it looks like a timing chain. Let's grab one of my blades here. This looks like a new timing chain, which we did just install a new timing chain, but we will go ahead and put this brand new one in there. So we got the new timing chain. That feels like bearings. So there's the crank bearings. What else we got here? Valves. So our intake and exhaust valves. Just pop them out of the package right now. These look pretty nice. What do we got going on right here? Is this the cylinder? Piston cylinder kit? Let's see. Well, there's a gasket kit. We got the exhaust gasket, timing chain, cam gasket, cam cover gasket, base gasket, head gasket. There is our wrist pin and circlips. We got our rings. See what else we got down in here. There's a water pump seal, crank PTO seal. Ooh, timing chain tensioner. I had no idea that came along. What stuff down the side over here? Valve guide seals. Let's get this piston out. Any markings on that? Nope, just showing just a billet aluminum piston. Well, cast, it's actually not billet, it's a cast piston here. Just want to see if there's a brand marked on it or not. The biggest thing is with this is making sure the direction that these two dots are pointed. I'm pretty sure these will go, this will be the exhaust side right here. Yeah, because if you look at this Nomura piston, you can see this would definitely be the exhaust side. I just want comparing size, look to be the same. Here comes the cylinder. Man, I keep knocking the valves down. They're like right in the way. Let's check this cylinder out. Nothing else in that box. A little bit of sticky on there. We'll have to clean all that up. Check out the cross hatching. Cross hatching looks to be just fine. Let's get in here to our crank. So the crank is in some type of styrofoam encasing, but it looks like this thing got thrown around so much that it came out. It's supposed to sit like that. So that's kind of a bummer. Make sure there's nothing else in there. That just shows you the care of some shipping companies around here. That has nothing to do with Rev 6 by any means. It's just, you know, the carriers, UPS, FedEx, whoever the carrier was throwing us around. And here comes the crank. Now, like I said, you can see how it's supposed to be in there, like this, but it was jammed in there sideways. Now, I'm gonna say that is definitely probably from the carrier tossing it around again. Let's get the crank out, take a look at it. Just in a big Ziploc baggie. So it looks like we are gonna have to, well, that's a really interesting color on that bearing. It looks like it's been heated before. Huh. That's pretty interesting. So looks like I'm gonna have to press off the cam gear on that crank, put it on, press on the new bearing and the gear. It does have the Woodruff key in there already. I was hoping it'd be a quick install, but apparently not. But that's all right. You never know what you're going to get. Again, timing chain tensioner is brand new. Let's see. Yimatsu. Y-I-M-A-T-Z-U. Yimatsu. So all in all, man, the kit looks pretty nice. As usual. A little bummed I got to press that gear back on there, but that's all right. So let's go ahead and take a quick overview of everything we got here from Rev 6. All right, guys, so there is a few things that you need to do to your crank when you get it from Rev 6. All right, I got the case halves all cleaned up. I got Moly lube, right here, assembly lube, and all my bearings. Now, when it comes to the crank, so what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to go ahead and take off the slotted nut, they call it here, and then you have to pull this bearing and your cam chain sprocket down here in the crank. Get this bearing off. There is a spacer that goes in here. Put it on your new one. I heated up the other bearing, slid it right down on there, slid the cam chain sprocket back on, and then I went back to tighten that down to, it says what, 35.5 foot-pounds. And I ended up using an adjustable spanner wrench and then using this for a torque slot and just torquing it down like that. You have to do all your calculations. You can find the calculations on Google. I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain it to you. The length of your torque wrench, the length of this, blah, blah, blah. So that's one thing you have to do to that. I got the oil pump back in here installed. The oil pump looked just fine on the inside. The other crank is in the freezer inside the house right now. So this crank here, we're done with that crank and we're done with that bearing. They did send 2 other bearings, which would be the ones that go on the PTO side. So what I'm gonna do after that cools off for an hour or so, I will heat this up, drop the crank down in there, and then after it cools, I will put the seal in that side. And then same thing here, I'll just heat this up here and we'll slide that over the bearing, crank bearing, but we'll also have installed our water pump gear, our balancer gear, the crank, and have that all matched up. Put silicone gasket sealer all around here, and then we'll put a little bit all around this one here. We'll seat the 2 crank halves together, crankcase halves together. The only thing I did not get was a water pump seal. So I'm hoping, we'll see if this one seals. I'm probably gonna just end up ordering one up so we have that and replace that on there. You can just see how kind of nasty that is anyways. So we're gonna have to clean that off, get a new water pump seal, and then we'll go ahead and reinstall everything else on here. And I'll give you guys the torque specs of the case halves once we get to that point. Also on the cylinder, you will have to put your oil filter nut on there, and you will also reuse your bolts for that. You got your new timing chain tensioner. I did already clean that up with brake clean. We will lube this up. We will install our rings onto the piston, Once we get the crank back installed and the case head back together, we'll get that installed, get everything back together. I got to sit down and take a look at this head and the cam to figure out what we're going to do about that. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up this here to about 200 degrees, 250 degrees roughly. I'm going to grab my heat gun real quick. There it is. Literally was getting ready to shoot this and forgot to grab this. So we're going to heat this up. We got the fan turned away. We can see we're at 96.6. So we're gonna heat this race up pretty evenly until we get around, you know, roughly 200 degrees or so. Hopefully I don't run out of map gas anyways. But I'm not gonna sit here and make you watch this the whole time. Like I said, the crank is in the freezer inside in my basement. And I'm gonna heat this guy up right here. And I'll show you guys the temp when I get ready to go grab the crank. I'm gonna heat it up, stop, run down, grab the crank, come back, heat it up a little bit more, and then drop it in. And hopefully we drop it in with no issues at all. All right, so right now we're sitting at 190. I was a little over 200. The crank is in the bag over there, so I'm gonna try to heat this up a little bit more. Make sure we got good even heat going everywhere. $220, $214. I think we're gonna be good there. I'm gonna kind of semi-unwrap the crank with my hand. All right, let's shut this off. Grab the crank out. Here we go. Hopefully it slides down in there without a problem. Yep, all the way down. Boom, perfect, sweet. Perfecto. Cannot get down any further than that. There we go. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's down in there now. Now we will heat up the other side of this crankcase before we do put it down in here. We're gonna go ahead and add our balancer gear, which right there and right here will be the ones we want to set together. If I can get them to line up here. There we go, there's that. Balancer gear. And then now we have the water pump gear and the oil pump gear. This one doesn't matter as long as you line it up with that pin. That washer down there, make sure you have this washer over here. And that is all that goes inside of this thing. We'll put a little silicone on this real quick. Grab some Suzuki bond. And I'll run a bead around that really fast. I'll heat up the other side, and then we'll slap this bad boy together. And hopefully, whoo, she's a little toasty down there. Hopefully she'll be ready to rock and roll. All right, so we got sealant on all the case halves here and over here. That was a little warm when I was putting that on, so we're trying to warm this other one up. Bearing is still pretty cool. So hopefully this thing all fits on there really easily. Shouldn't take long to heat this up on this side. Just gotta make sure we get a good press fit and start throwing the bolts back in this thing as soon as possible to get it to squeeze down. Almost, about 20 more degrees. $222. All right, we're gonna give it a shot here. Woo, a little warm. All right. Woo, I need my shirt to work. Where the heck is the, there we go. Yep, that didn't work very well at all. Man, I didn't expect the case to be that hot way over here. Perfect. Give it a few taps. Where's my dead blow? Over here in my drawer. Looks like we are seated all the way around. Start grabbing our bolts. Those all should be a 10 millimeter, and we'll double check torque here in a second on all of them. Just want to get it down to where it's going to hold this case in place. There we go. All right, so let's walk over here, take a look at case bolts. Of course it doesn't tell you there. Cylinder bolt torque. I need case bolts here, people, case bolts. Cylinder installation. Crankshaft end play, balancer, don't care. Oil pump torque, 8 Newton meters, and do that. Crankcase bolt torque 14 foot-pounds or 19 Newton meters. Sweet. So I'm a Newton meter guy, just because I'm working on Japanese stuff all the time. Sweet. Double check the crank for smoothness. Whew, still hot. Yeah, it feels good, smooth, like butter. Sweet. That side is done. We can go ahead and put the impeller back on. That should be a whopping, I think, 10 Newton meters also. So we're gonna put that back on real quick. Ow, hot. Can't even do it because it's so hot right now. Get it all the way down there. Hold the crank. Maybe. I can't even hold the crank right now. I keep touching that case, and that case is so hot. So let's see, well, I don't know what it tells me about the water pump. What's it say, water pump, water pump, water pump? I'm pretty sure it's 10 or 8 or 10. Oil pump, I don't care about that. Water pump. Water pump, one-way valve spring. Doesn't say. I'm gonna say 10 Newton meters is what I'm gonna say. I don't see anything else. So we'll do 10. Ah! But I'll need to get something to hold that in place first. We'll grab this guy here. Okay, perfect. Water pump, water impellers on. We can get the, well, I'm gonna let the crankcase is cool. That's what I need to do. Cause yeah, it's still pretty hot to the touch. We got this O-ring that will go there with the stator cover. You still have the, you have your cylinder slide on, your piston on there yet. You can put your timing chain guides in. Once you get your piston and everything on, just leave yourself a little extra room there. It's easier to work with it. Once you get the cylinder on, you can slide it all through. You get your piston on that way. We probably will add just a touch of Suzuki Bond to the base gasket. Just make sure it seals. Put that O-ring in there. Because boy, I tell you what, this crankcase got hot. But oh, I did. I forgot to clean the top. I cleaned the sides. I didn't clean the dang base gasket off all the way. All right, let me clean that base gasket off. All right, so we're on to the piston now. I got the top end cleaned up there. When you install this, all right, when you install your piston, you want to make sure these two dots are on the magneto side, all right, which is going to be over here like this. Almost sit over here like this. And when you install the clip, you want to make sure the tang is facing outward and that it is facing either straight up or straight down like this. When I put my piston rings on, I do mine at 180. I always put the oil ring in the middle, and then I put one here, 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 here. That's just how I install mine. Every 120 degrees is pretty typical on this. So I'm gonna go ahead, install my snap ring, get the rings on here, lube this up, put a little sealant around the edge, the bottom of the crankcase, and go ahead and put the base gasket on. We'll slide the cylinder on, and those bolts are torqued down to, I think it said 46 foot-pounds. Yeah, cylinder bolts, the 10 millimeter bolts are 46 foot-pounds, which are the ones in the inside, and the outside ones are 6 foot-pounds, which in turn be 62 Newton meters and 8 Newton meters there. So I'm gonna get this installed. We'll get the base gasket on, we'll install the cylinder, and we'll torque all that down. All right, pistons on, circlips inserted, base gasket's on, base gasket is on. We're gonna throw some assembly lube inside this bad boy, but I'm gonna go ahead and take out the bolts first. There we go, bolts are out. A little bit of lube inside the cylinder. Throw a little 10W40 in there, or 5W30, whatever you want to do for the piston. All right, clean up my hand here a little bit. Spin this bad boy around. Let's go ahead and work this guy down onto the cylinder, or down onto the piston. Work the cylinder down onto the piston, not onto the cylinder. One day, I'll invest in a ring compressor kit. Till then, long fingernails, screwdrivers, all that good stuff. Whoop. Go ahead and go down. Oh, there we go. It's like, why am I off? There we go. Spin the piston back up the TDC. Make sure it's smooth. I can't get a grip. There's TDC. Clean that up. Grab our bolts. Drop them down in here. Let's see, does it say anything about oiling them? Push down. I don't see anything about putting any oil on these. And again, I'm going to tighten these down to 62 Newton meters. Where is my... I gotta figure out what the heck I did with my 12 point. I know I put some stuff, there it is. Like, I know I put some stuff away, but not everything. And then my 3-inch extension. That's a 3-inch wobbly. I don't want a 3-inch wobbly. I want a 3-inch straight. That's what she said. Anyways. Why did that one work? My other snap-on one will work or whatever. You're on the right size. Nope, this is the wrong size. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not what I want either. Where the heck did I put the 12? It's out. It's out. It's probably on an extension. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was on an extension somewhere already. On my air gun, because it's the last thing we used it on. All right, there we go. That's all the way down. Grab our torque wrench, set it to 62 Newton meters, and do this in a crisscross pattern. Ow. 62, 30, 35, 36, 30. Just kind of don't want to do it all at once. Now we'll come back and really get to 62. 62.1. 62. 62.8. 62 on the money. Woo! All right. That's good. Spin it around. Get our two 6x10 bolts here. Should be. We'll get those ran down real quick. Of course, I need an extension on that too. And these are, what did I say, 8 Newton meters. Geronimo, here we go. Eight. 8.2. 8.2. So that is torqued down. I do need to put the new seal in yet, since that is not installed on the PTO side. This side over here does not get the seal. It does have that O-ring though. Once we get the seal put in, I'll put the seal in, and then we'll go ahead and go back over to the other side and start to get the timing chain in, timing chain guides, all that, and then the stator and things like that. I still kind of need to see what's going on with this stator. I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like somebody did that when they went to take it out. I didn't see that the last time I did it, and I just happened to see it this time because I'm expecting things a little more thoroughly seal. So a little We'll throw a little assembly lube on it, on the outer edge. Okay. And this bad boy should just pretty much almost, you could probably pretty much almost press this in evenly, or you can work around and tap it. Where is my fat cat daddy at? Since I don't have the tool to go over the top, you can use a piece of PVC, whatever you like. A little bit more right in here. The reason I'm putting that in after the fact is because I had that so hot, I didn't want to take a chance on melting that seal. So now that's installed, nice and level, all the way around. That feels really, really good. All right, so now we can flip this bad boy back around. We can throw our timing chain in there. Grab that. We'll throw a little bit of assembly lube down that thing. Yeah, I finally broke down and bought assembly lube. It's a miracle. Usually I just use oil and everything. Timing chain. Does this one not have? All right, so this one doesn't have like this one has. The stock one has the marks. You see that? You see this here for the bottom and that for the top. That way you would have this thing lined up perfectly right there and on top dead center here. And you could make sure, oh, there it is, there it is. I lied. A, perfect. Sweet, I didn't see it. But they don't have it on the other side, but that's all right. This one here, we can line up down at the bottom, if I don't let it fall all the way through. Right, even. Hey, watch me not do this. There's that. We'll hang that off that side. Timing chain tensioners. This will set up here in the cylinder head. That'll go there, and this will set back here in the cylinder head. If you can see that right there. If I can keep my hand. Get that back underneath there. Put the timing chain back the other way. Still TDC. I'm going to throw just a touch of blue Loctite on this guy. Let's see what it says for the torque on that, if it shows me. That's the head installation. I'm gonna say probably 10 Newton meters again, like everything else. Every one I've ever done has been 10 Newton meters. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep it at 10. The newer service manuals are a little bit nicer. They give you a diagram breakdown at the beginning. That's kind of nice to have that. All right, let's drop this in. Probably a 12. Yep. Newton meters. 10.3 with blue Loctite. So we're good on that side. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the stator off for now. I can't, well, no, I can put the stator on. I think it's gonna be okay. I'm not a fan of what's going on there. We'll put this on, we'll put the stator plate on. How about that? The stator plate will go on. Make sure that O-ring is lubed up. Make sure you have this O-ring here, right there. And then you can go ahead and put a little silicone in that so this thing does not leak when you put it together. And right there will line up. And all these will be in, and these will be torqued down to 10 Newton meters also. I know people don't like when I tell them Newton meters, but it's gonna be like, I don't know, 8 foot-pounds or something like that probably. I forget what 10 Newton meters is. Just use Google, calculate it. That is gonna be, it's gonna be a 10 again. That's 8. 8, that's 10. There we go. Just kind of going around doing them all slowly. That way the O-ring seats all the way down. Another whopping 10 Newton meters. There we go. 10 Newton meters and all that. The flywheel will be the next thing, but I want to pull this off and take a look at what is going on with this stator, why it's cocked sideways, why those are always down. The best way for me to probably get that out, actually I already have an impact driver over here, don't I? Yep, let's see if this number 2 would work. Yeah, that number 2 might work just fine. All right, broke that loose. I have to run down to the hardware store and buy some new screws because I don't think I have anything like this. I mean, honestly, a 10mm head won't be bad either, or an 8, but I want to see why. Okay, so that, maybe it's an incorrect stator because it doesn't line up with all 3 holes. Nope. Interesting. Nope. Nope, 2 holes line up. These two line up. Okay, all 3 line up right here just like this. That is pretty interesting. So 1, 2, 3. Did somebody buy the wrong stator? I mean, usually you have this thing kind of hiding back here behind everything like so, but I wonder, with this having to be like this, for all 3 of those to line up, I bet you that runs underneath the, I mean, I don't know, I have to look at the diagram, but I bet you that runs underneath the pickup, and somebody just didn't install it correctly. And again, I didn't see it in my last one because I wasn't looking for that. Yeah, So basically what it looks like is this is supposed to go underneath here. That's twisted up. Okay. Twisted down here, there. All right, so my mic went dead that I'm using, but I finally got the other head in thanks to Power Sports Nation, man. Hit them up for all your used parts needs, guys. They got everything. I'm not sponsored by them, but they have been lifesavers when it comes to jobs like this. The new valves are in, new valve guide seals. I have lapped those in and cleaned that up. Got the cam, all that. This is all put together. Probably, since the mic's dead, I'm probably not going to show this procedure, but I'm going to show you the procedure in the service manual as far as putting the head on as torquing. I'm going to give my mic some time to charge up. I'll get the head on here, and then we'll talk about timing it up, which is already set to TDC down here on this mark there, and get the cam chain out. But here's the procedure for this, all right? If you look closely, it says up there, again, emanuelsonline.com, you can get this. So you torque evenly a crisscross pattern of 22 foot-pounds or 30 newton meters. Torque bolt to 51 foot-pounds or 70 newton meters. Then you loosen it evenly by 180 degrees. Loosen the bolt again another 180 degrees. Then you torque the bolt to 11 foot-pounds or 15 newton meters. And from this point, tighten the bolt evenly 90 degrees. And finally, tighten another 90 degrees. Install the two 6mm bolts and torque to 6 foot-pounds or 8 newton meters. So that's the procedure on that. If you can see it, I'm not sure. Again, here, actually, I might be able to show you right here on my computer. There's the procedure. Screenshot that, pause it, whatever you need to do. And that is for this. Again, like I said, my mic is dead. I'm charging that. You probably hear the fan blowing across this thing, everything. I'm going to put the head on, off camera, and then we'll get into timing this thing up, putting the cam in, rocker arms, and all that. Oh, yeah, another thing. Make sure you grease the oil the threads, the washer, and the head of the bolt when you put this thing in. All right, still don't have my mic. What a fun time it is to hold this motor in place and torque that down to 90 degrees both times. Holy crap, I had a little mark on my arm there. I had to do it twice because I accidentally had this out of the slot over here. So got it together, got the cam chain pulled up. Now you're gonna wanna make sure you're on TDC with a little line here on the hash mark. And this guy here will be pretty much straight up and down. Straight up and down like that. And this will be your two timing marks, which will be straight up and down like this also. Now let's walk over here to the TV real quick. And you can see, it has actually the computer for you guys. You can see where as you pull your cam chain up, you line that mark up there, single alignment mark. You'll have the little pin here, there, and you'll torque the cam bolts to 8 newton meters. Apply Loctite to that, guys, blue. Yeah, and then verify your markings, man. It's not too hard to do, pretty simple to do. You see your marks there. There's your dot, that one will be straight up. Little deal there, and then your mark there. So that's how you verify the cam timing. All right, so I did have this loosened in the back a little bit, so the cam moves a smidge. That way you can get the sprocket through. Again, you'll torque those to 8 to 10 newton meters. Same thing with your cam chain, cam chain tensioner. Holy crap, cannot talk. These will be torqued to 8 to 10 newton meters also. And we'll insert the, I think this thing goes to 12 newton meters. I'll have to double check here in a second. So we'll get this in. I'll tighten this guy up here, and then we'll get the rocker arms installed. All right, so the rocker supports is what they call this guy here. The rocker supports will be torqued down to, what did they say, 13 newton meters? Let's see what that is in foot-pounds real quick. Rocker support, 8 to 10, I'm guessing foot-pounds. Rocker support. Yeah, and 11 to 13 newton meters on the rocker supports here. Of course, the covers, 8 newton meters on all those. This guy here, you can go to 10 to 12 newton meters on the intake. So we're all good on that. Oh yeah, this is 9 newton meters also. So we'll get this installed. I'll torque these down, get the cover back on, get this bad boy installed back in the chassis, fill up the oil. We'll crank it over without spark to make sure it's purging, pinch off the line for the oil tank, the vent line. That way it siphons through the oil tank and through the system here. And I also just gonna add a little more assembly lube to a few things just to make sure everything goes together smooth. Valve clearances are 6th dial intake and exhaust, by the way. Let me get this in, valves checked, the rest of it back together in the unit, and then we'll try to fire this thing up. All right, guys, so we got the motor reinstalled here. I have coolant filled up with my little guy over there that when we run it. Now, we got 2 quarts of oil in the reservoir. It's what it calls for. Now, when we first do this, you want to pinch off the vent hose like this. That way it creates a priming system for the oil pump. They say do that for about 10 to 20 seconds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. Hopefully the battery's charged. Without a spark plug in there, I'm actually going to turn the fan off so I can listen to what's going on. Now, I still have to figure out where I'm going to put this at and the crankcase vent, which is down here. Now, tip, get the crankcase vent hose on before you get the motor in there. It is a pain in the butt. But everything is hooked up. Fuel pump is actually disconnected, so we don't have to fire off the injector or anything. Let's go ahead, turn the key on, and hope that we did this right. So let's go ahead and turn it over. I think my foot might need to be on the brake here. Now I'm just trying to prime the system. Now we have moly lube and oil and everything. All right, so hopefully that primed the system enough. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the fuel pump. I'm gonna put the spark plug back in, throw the spark plug cap on this thing. We'll fire this up. We'll check to see if the system's priming like this. That way we get everything primed up properly so we don't have any issues on the top end. So I'm gonna stick the spark plug in so we know it turns over no problem. No codes on the dash. Shut the key all the way off actually. I hear the IEC motor resetting itself, or idle speed controller, however you want to call it. And then we'll fire this thing up, see how it runs. All right. What is that thing again over there? The fuel pump is hooked up. Spark plug's in, foot on the brake. Hear that cycling. I'm gonna do it one more time. All right. Should have fired off by now. What's going on? Do I have anything unhooked? Did I accidentally unhook the coil somewhere? Coil's plugged in. Crank sensor's plugged in down there. It's hooked up. There it goes. All right, that's actually nice and quiet. Way quieter than what it was. I guess the fuel system just needed to be primed a little bit more. So we're gonna let it run 10 to 20 seconds. Let's grab a flashlight, look down in there, make sure it's purging itself. We'll run over here to grab a flashlight. We're gonna take a look down in here with the oil cap off. Yep, it's moving. It is definitely moving. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this off. It's been running, we'll wait a little bit longer. Just let it keep going. Take another look. I know you guys probably can't see, but it is moving. Put that back on there. See all the smoke coming. Go ahead and undo the vent hose. Set it here, and we'll just let it sit here and we'll let it idle for a little bit. It says to let it idle. Oh, my battery, my PC's going dead. What's it say up here? Let me plug this in real quick. Check oil height. Start and run for 20 to 30 seconds. We'll return oil to its true level in the oil tank. Stop engine, remove the seat, oil tank location. You'll pull the dipstick out, wipe it dry, put it back in, screw it in, and check the level. So let's definitely grab a deal here. Let's go ahead and go shut this off. All right, shut that off. We'll grab this, bring it up, wipe it off. It says to stick in, screw it in. Take it back out, check it. And we are at the normal line. We're not at the full line, but we're at what's called the normal line right here. It says tighten to check oil level. So that's good. It's got 2 quarts in there like it says it's supposed to have. So let's just go ahead and fire it up again and just let this thing sit here and idle for a little bit. Make sure everything is getting heat cycled, all that, the bearings, crank, piston, all those things. So let's go ahead and put my foot back on the brake. Fires right up. It's got a little bit of a what we consider like a low idle at first, but I would definitely want to make sure. Again, this is how I burp the system most of the time. I'll put one of these guys on there, fill it up, and then we'll let the thermostat kick on a couple times. So as of right now, I don't see any oil leaks anywhere. Everything sounds really good and quiet. Top end sounds good. So I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing heat up, run that fan a few times, and see, turn it off, let it cycle again, then we'll take this thing for a nice little test drive. All right, so it took me about 45 minutes to get all the air out of the system. I did jack the front end up. I used my little deal over there, let it all heat cycle, fan kicked off and on so many times, so many air bubbles. But I want you to remember something. At first I got a hot air code and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't bleeding the system. I completely forgot there's a little hole on the top and bottom of some of these like this. You need to place them in there with this lined up to the top bolt hole. If you don't, then it can't bleed the air out of the system. I screwed that up, so I fixed that real quick. Got that done. System is bled out. I'm gonna hold you guys in my hand here. I'm gonna break my dang microphone here if I'm not careful. But anyways, I'm gonna hold you guys in my hand. Go ahead, fire this thing back up. It idles really nicely around 1100 RPMs. Nice and quiet. So let's take it for a drive. Let's see if we have any issues at all. Oh yeah, catches right away. Very nice. Just trying to be careful not to run into the Tri-Z behind me. That's all done. All right, we're gonna go into low range first. Oh yeah, pool's nice, motor's nice and quiet. I'm actually really happy with that. It sounds really good. We're just gonna cruise nice and slow down the driveway and around. Probably gonna put it in high gear. I don't wanna rev it too high right now. I mean, I've had it revved up a few different times while I was bleeding the system. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and quiet. Let's hope we don't have any cam locking issues like we had in the past where the cam locked in the head. That was just due to poor oil circulation. My poor creek has been dry for a month now. Nothing's going on in that bad boy all the way up the way. All my bait fish are gone now, but whatever. So everything seems to be working just fine. Sounds good. Motor's absolutely quiet. We're cruising around 3,900 RPMs right now. I'm not going to get crazy with it. I want it to break in really nice and easy. Just drive around the front field. But again, this is a complete kit from Rev 6. Again, I'm working on affiliate links from them guys to save you guys a little bit of money. They're going to be probably using some more of my content on their page and on their social media pages, which is pretty cool. So here we go up the road. Motor sounds phenomenal, nice and quiet, really responsive. Super happy with it. Super happy with it. That makes me pumped. Just cruising through the backyard. Super quiet, super happy with it. There's the Tri-Z, it's all finished. That video will be out here soon. But put this thing back in park. I'm gonna shut her down. I'm gonna call this one done. I'm gonna go drive it for a little bit longer. If anything pops up, I'll let you guys know. Again, you know, this is a full rebuild kit from Rev 6. E-manual online provided the service manual for me on that. Use discount code LimitlessPower22 to save 22% at checkout. It helps the channel. Anything I'll link down below in the description are affiliate links, and they definitely help out the channel. I don't get much kickback, but I get a little bit. I don't see it very often because it takes a long time for it to reach the, I think it's like a minimum of like $100 sometimes before they pay you out on it, especially like Amazon and a few other ones. But yeah, guys, man, that's the build. I just kind of did it kind of quick on the end of this one instead of trying to show you guys me torquing everything down, trying to make it a little bit quicker, jumping around. If you got questions about motorcycles, ATVs, or UTVs, feel free to drop a comment. Find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. Here on YouTube at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. You can email me at limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. Like I said, service manual needs, e-manuals, rebuild kits, Rev 6, great stuff, no complaints, great customer service, all that. Yeah, man, I don't have much else to say. If you haven't subbed, please sub. Give the video a thumbs up, thumbs down, drop some comments. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on my next upload.